What's up? A to Z Sports Live on a Thursday. Thanks for jumping along here today, talking about an NFL trend and what it could mean for Derrick Henry and the Titans as we follow NFL trends across the sport and across the league. This one is 14 years going with this NFL trend, and we'll discuss exactly what that means. Welcoming everybody watching live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you give the show a thumbs up, give us a like on all those platforms. We'd appreciate this. As always, you guys doing that every morning that we go live, weekday mornings at 8 Central Time. But we're talking about Derrick Henry and his future and what it could be for the Titans. Is this upcoming season the last year Derrick Henry should be with the Titans? And what do you expect from a 2023 version of Derrick Henry as he enters 29 years old? And then he'll be 30 years old for week 18 of this upcoming season. So, Zach, we're going to talk a lot about Derrick Henry in this morning show. And then it is a Thursday, which means we've got the Magic Bucket to wrap up the show. And you still got the Magic Bucket still in your possession. This might have been the longest it has been in your possession since we were both in the same room doing the show every morning. But
I'll be glad. I'll give it back. I'll drop it off when I leave today.
It feels very strange that I don't have the Magic Bucket, but one less thing I got to worry about, I guess. But welcome in. Let's get this Thursday show off the ground and rocking and rolling here on a Titans Thursday.
Yeah, broadcasting live on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We got you covered there. We'll tweet out segment by segment the YouTube link on our Twitter at ATOZ Sports. Excuse me, that at ATOZ Sports is our Twitter handle, and you should follow us there. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe on our YouTube page. If you've already subscribed, then go ahead and like this show. That will help the algorithm. That will get more Titans fans involved. And, it's a great subscription as we are marching along to 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're trying to get to that mark. Hit the subscribe button if you are watching on YouTube, if you haven't already. Also on Facebook, bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. Sharing is caring and caring is sharing on this show. Share the show around. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. So we need that. Go ahead and share the show for all of our Facebook fans. And let's get this party started on Titans Thursday.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media as we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter timeline at A to Z Sports, and also follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more great Titans coverage all throughout the year. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by going to see them in Lebanon or simply at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That means better rates, coverage, and service. Learn more about a health plan for you. FBHP.com/ATOZ, and Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you get injured in a car wreck, call them for a free case consultation, 800-800-4600. So Derrick Henry is entering the last year of his contract. We all know that. Derrick Henry also was the second leading rusher last season in the NFL, topping the 1,500-yard mark for the third time in his career. And we all know what Derrick Henry has been for this Titans franchise as the face of the franchise, the person who gets the promo for every primetime game that he's playing in. Derrick Henry is representing the Tennessee Titans on the NFL-wide landscape. But there was an interesting stat, Zach, and trend that came out of the Super Bowl. And that I thought was very interesting. And Sam Phelan wrote about this on A2ZSports.com earlier in the week. But let's just show it. And it is the Super Bowl winning team leading rusher. Over the last 14 Super Bowls, the leading rusher and their base salary. Isaiah Pacheco, a rookie 7th-round draft pick, had a great Super Bowl, 70-plus rushing yards, scored a touchdown, helped in the pass game some as a 7th-round rookie, making $870K. Then you see Cam Akers, Leonard Fournette, Damian Williams, playoff Damian, Sony Michel, a couple of LeGarrette Blount, 3 LeGarrette Blounts on there. CJ Anderson, Percy Harvin, who is listed technically as a running back there, the leading rusher, I guess, for the Seahawks in that game. Ray Rice, Ahmad Bradshaw, James Starks, and Pierre Thomas. Not a lot of household names. So the average base salary of the leading rusher in the Super Bowl over the last 14 years, just barely over $1 million. And Zach, Derrick Henry's base salary that he's set to make in the final year of his 4-year contract, $10.5 million. So about 10 times what the average of the Super Bowl leading rusher base salary over the last 14 years. And 14 years, I think, is a long, big sample size when you're talking about the NFL and a trend, because 14 years goes back a long way. And there's been a lot of different rules that have been implemented to help the offense and that have changed the NFL over those 14 years. But Derrick Henry and the Titans are not following that NFL trend whatsoever. They're going the exact opposite of that and paying a lot of money to a big-time running back.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised by the Super Bowl stat because we also watch the draft every year. Compared to the 90s drafts in the first round, the number of running backs taken compared to the number of running backs taken in the last 10 years in the first round is night and day. So, like, the trend has been in our face. It's not a surprise.
Right.
And now you have the actual results. And I would even argue the most expensive running back on there, which is Percy Harvin, wasn't running back for the Seahawks that year. He was just the leading rusher. So, like, that also is more eye-opening. But the reason why is that teams have been investing in their roster in different ways and not the running back position. It's not the Tony Dorsett era. It's not the Emmitt Smith era. It's not the Barry Sanders era. It's not the Franco Harris era. I mean, this has changed and it's evolved into the quarterback era. And honestly, that is what has eluded the Tennessee Titans franchise since Steve McNair. Steve McNair is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he was a very good quarterback. After Steve McNair, the Titans have not had very good quarterbacks at the level of Steve McNair. They've whiffed on a lot of players. And, you know, I think the Derrick Henry conversation does need some nuance because they drafted Derrick Henry in the second round, I think, for value, right? They saw that Derrick Henry, the Heisman Trophy winner that led and dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide and won a national championship, had dropped not as a first-round pick, but to the second round. And really, I mean, they didn't even use the Kevin Dodd pick, which is the top of that second round.
I think it was their third second-round pick that year. I believe they went
Johnson,
Kevin Dodd.
I believe was before that.
Yeah, Kevin Dodd at 33, Austin Johnson 42, and Derrick Henry right there at 45.
Right? So it was one of those value picks. Sometimes value picks work, sometimes they don't. Like so far, you know, Malik Willis was a value pick. We're going to find out about Malik Willis, but project, Derrick Henry was a value pick. Harold Landry was a value pick. Christian Fulton was a value pick. And I would even, Jeffrey Simmons is a value pick from the first round that dropped because he was a perennial top 5 pick that had an ACL. So that was John Robinson's philosophy. They drafted Derrick Henry and he became the best running back in the league, right? And so they had to figure out, do we let this guy go or do we sign him to a contract? And then on top of that, Austin, it was a team-friendly deal. The contract that Derrick Henry signed that is paying him the amount of money currently and in his last year, the last several years, that is a deal that the team has to sign. You would be crazy not to take that deal from the best running back in the league and the trajectory of Derrick Henry. So at times you kind of have no choice, but at the end of the day, you signed a contract that bucks the trend of Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. And to go along with what you're saying, it wasn't about drafting Derrick Henry in the second round like that. It's about the contract that he got. And yeah, absolutely a team-friendly deal. What was it, 4 years, right around $50 million, pretty even.
It's the opposite of Chris Johnson's deal. Chris Johnson was a player-friendly deal that they got out of because they were like, you're not worth the $8 million a year.
But here we go, Zach. What the Titans, we talked about, this trend that we brought up, the last 14 Super Bowl champion leading rushers, the average base salary is right around $1 million a year. And the names on this list are not exactly household names. LeGarrette Blount, kind of, smoked his way to 3 different Super Bowls and bounced around different teams and was able to find his own role there. But when you look at that list, and then you think about all of the running backs the Titans have paid a lot of money to since 2009. And it's not just Derrick Henry. You mentioned Chris Johnson. They paid a lot of money to Chris Johnson in the early 2010s. They traded for DeMarco Murray and had to pay him a decent amount. It was another team-friendly situation. But then giving Derrick Henry all that money a couple off seasons ago has put the Titans in a situation where all of a sudden the Titans are minus $26 million in cap space, and Derrick Henry, a 29-year-old running back, has a cap hit north of $16 million.
Well, here's 2 examples in the league. Let's look at Ezekiel Elliott and Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey signed that massive deal, traded, not playing for the team that signed him. Yeah. Ezekiel Elliott signed that massive deal. They're going to franchise tag Tony Pollard or sign Tony Pollard and get rid of Zeke. It's been so bad that Zeke came out after the season and saying, I'm willing to take a pay cut because he's not worth the contract that they paid him. So you look around the league, there are only a few of those type of contracts for running backs, Derrick Henry being one of them. Now, he's the least of the 3 compared to Zeke and Christian McCaffrey because it was team friendly. But Austin, this is hamstrung, the franchise to a degree because they have not put the pieces around Derrick Henry to win a Super Bowl. They lost in the 2 years that they went for it. They lost in the first round or
in their first game,
but the first game that they played.
Right. And so that brings me to something else because you're right. The pieces around Derrick Henry have not been good enough and have let Derrick Henry down, and Derrick Henry got hurt and the Titans still were able to win the number 1 seed. So I want to get to
it's like LeBron in 06. You're sitting there looking around like, where you got Big Z, Wally Zerbiak, Brevin Knight,
West.
Probably,
I don't know what year that was.
Eric Snow. Who knows? Like, there's nobody there.
So let's ask this question to get the chat more involved. I've got a lot more points and opinions to get to throughout the show organically, but let's go ahead and get the chat more involved this morning. Should 2023 be Derrick Henry's last season with the Titans? It's the last year of his current contract, but should it be his last year with the Titans? Should 2023 be Derrick Henry's last season with the Tennessee Titans? But first, Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your next ride. They are a quick trip down I-40 exit 236. You can see they're right out there on the screen. They got the Palisade. They've got the Elantra. They've got your perfect make and model. If you're looking for an SUV, definitely test drive the Palisade. If you're looking for a 4-door sedan, definitely test drive the Sonata. They also have the Ioniq, which is battery powered. So their fuel, driven cars are fuel efficient, and their battery powered cars are battery efficient. That's the Ioniq. Take a look for you and your family today. You can check out their inventory at wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Hey, with BetMGM, you can win big and you can help your friends win big with the Refer a Friend invitation, because what that means is you go in your BetMGM app and you log in, you take that Refer a Friend invitation, you can send it and have up to 20 friends sign up. And for every friend that signs up with your invitation, you get $50 bonus bets. They get $50 in bonus bets. And so that means you can get up to $1,000 in bonus bets just by inviting your friends to come play with you on BetMGM. Last night, Zach, our girl Grace on our social media got us another winner. I'm making money with Grace so far over the last week or so. Got that Tennessee, Alabama under. Easy money right there. On top of it, didn't expect Tennessee to beat number 1 Alabama, but it did happen. So make sure that you sign up.
I told you that they were going
You did tell me that. And I was you are crazy. And so, look,
You faded me and got faded.
Yeah, but I also Grace saved me because you get saved with her and her pick, and I actually had more on her pick than I did Alabama plus 3.5. But anyway, refer for an invitation with the BetMGM app. Make sure you and your friends can go win together or lose together or fade each other or tail each other, whatever it is, with the BetMGM app today. So Zach asking the question this morning: should 2023 be Derrick Henry's last season with the Tennessee Titans? It is the last year of his contract that he signed in the offseason of 2020. What is the chat saying on this?
Well, look, first two answers, JR says yes and Steven says no. So, we've got some differing opinions here. Few yeses coming in with Noah, Jay, and Honky Tonk. Tighten Up says no. JR just says, I love Henry. And JR was the one that says, should this be the last season? JR said yes, it should be. No, this shouldn't be the last season from Jabu. Dadson says no, Henry should retire as a Titan for Mr. Jones. I don't know if that's in the script, though, Mr. Jones. You'll have to check it. Not no, but hell no, Austin. Hell no from Lee. Hell no from Jermel. Yes, coming in there from Nate. No from Nate's burner account. So that makes a lot of sense. Nate says yet, then Nate's burner says no, extend him this offseason. Undecided from Jonathan, so he's not answering the question. Soul Feels 4 says no. Mark says no. Hell no from Will, Tennessee. Not a chance in hell from David. Absolutely not from Seth. No from DeMario. No from Matt. No from Jimbo. No from Scott. No way from Guy. So no is really caught on as that this should not be Derrick Henry's last season. Jason, Deborah, LeVar, Jerion, and Steven all say no, including Jared. So, overwhelmingly, this is a 90-10 in no's on the chat. Absolutely not. Keep him there for his career from Josh. Haven't had good weapons around him since 2019. Austin, where do you reside on this question?
I'm going to go back to Josh says haven't had good weapons around him since 2019. He was second in rushing behind a crappy offensive line. Look, yes, Derrick Henry had a great season. Derrick Henry himself is not the problem. I think we know that. And I do think it's ironic if you look at the top three leading rushers in the NFL this season, no playoffs. And so running the ball is important because we saw what the Eagles did. And we know that the Chiefs
by committee, though.
Yeah, right. And we know,
including their quarterback.
Yes, and the Chiefs ran the ball very efficiently in the Super Bowl to help win the damn Super Bowl. So this is not an anti-running the ball take. I think is, this should be Derrick Henry's last year because the Titans have an opportunity to kind of go along with what I said yesterday is start fresh. And they're not playing the game the right way. The NFL results are telling you how to get there and how to structure your roster and your salary cap to win the damn Super Bowl. And so from 2009 to this past season, the Super Bowl winning team leading rusher doesn't make a lot of money. And so it's showing you that you can get good production out of an Isaiah Pacheco. You can do a couple of good things with a Damian Williams, playoff Damian and Cam Akers, and you can find out that Leonard Fournette on a second team can do something for you on a cheaper deal. And LeGarrette Blount, after hopping around teams, can find a home on a pretty cheap deal. That you can win by running the football, but not spending a large chunk of your salary cap on the running back position. Miles Sanders, if the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl, now it would have been Jalen Hurts who was the leading rusher, right? Quarterback. But if you're going to go running back, Miles Sanders was making $1 million base salary this year on his rookie contract. So I think it shows you that the NFL is telling you, you ride rookie running back contracts and then you rinse and repeat. Giving a stud running back a second contract is not how you win a Super Bowl. And the Titans were caught up in a situation where they had no other choice but to sign Derrick Henry to a contract. I'm not looking back revisionist history and saying it was a bad move to sign Derrick Henry to that contract because the Titans had to. He carried you to the AFC Championship game. You're one game away on the rookie contract, and then you gave him money because of what he represented for your franchise. He sells a lot of tickets. He brings eyeballs on you. All of that stuff is important. But at this point, yeah, this should be Derrick Henry's last year because now you have a chance to reset and go get a quality running back talent on a rookie contract and use that person until their rookie contract ends and then go do it again. And so you can have that extra $10 million of cap space to go get better weapons around him, Josh. Like, go get better weapons around your running back that's cheap and spend money on the offensive line, spend money on the pass catchers, and not spending $10 million a year in base salary on your running back. So it should be the last year for Derrick Henry as a Titan. And I like Derrick Henry a lot. He means a ton to the franchise. He means a ton to the state. But that's just how it should work. They are not playing the game the correct way. If they're showing you how to make the recipe for a Super Bowl title, then why would you just not follow the recipe and be that stubborn? So you don't have to cut Derrick Henry or trade Derrick Henry now, but just don't keep him a part of the team for a high paycheck moving forward after this year. That's my answer. My answer is this should be the last year for Derrick Henry as a Titan.
So we know more about this, I think, the trajectory of the Tennessee Titans now. And I believe that Derrick Henry, I think the Titans have gotten as much as they can out of Derrick Henry for what he is worth. Another team may get more out of him, a little bit more. But the Titans have to find their franchise quarterback. The franchise running back doesn't play. You've shown this, the stat graphic 5 times. It doesn't play. And it especially really doesn't play with Mike Vrabel as your head coach. That's why you have to find your franchise quarterback. You're going to have a revolving door at offensive coordinator. Guys will come and guys will go. Tim Kelly will either get a head coaching job or get fired. It's just how it's going to happen. Todd Downing was either going to get a head coaching job or his ass was going to get fired. The latter happened. Arthur Smith was either going to get fired or get a head coaching job. He got a head coaching job. Matt LaFleur was either going to get fired or find a head coaching job. He find a head coaching job. Look at the state of the Tennessee Titans structure. Mike Vrabel's not going anywhere. He's a good head coach, quality head coach. And Rand Carthon, I think, especially coming in as fresh blood as the general manager, has less affinity for Derrick Henry. So I think it proves the point of you need to take the $15 million and whatever you're paying Tannehill, and you need to go find your franchise quarterback because your offensive coordinator is going to leave. If your quarterback is stable, not your running back, but if your quarterback is stable, it hurts less when your offensive coordinator leaves or you kick him out the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's the philosophy. So the reasoning behind my answer of this should be Derrick Henry's last year is because of how the Titans are structured. And it starts with Mike Vrabel, who's a defensive-minded head coach. The trend on top of lowering the value of a running back, also, there is a trend in the NFL, Austin, offensive-minded head coaches.
Yep.
The Titans are going against the trend in both aspects. You're not going to win.
Yeah. And
this is cold and hard and truth. But these are the facts, homie. And they've been the facts. And it's not fun to say this as you watch the Titans week in and week out. We watch the Titans week in and week out, but it's not going to work. And ultimately, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to put on a great show in a new stadium? Are you trying to just compete? Are you trying to get to week 18 of the season and have a play and get in game? Or are you trying to win the mother effing Super Bowl? You're not going to win when you compete against Josh Allen's Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to do it with the way that you've been playing. This should be Derrick Henry's last year. I think it will be Derrick Henry's last year. And I think they need to concentrate on going either drafting a young franchise quarterback or going to get Aaron Rodgers. Those are your two choices. And Austin, you've said the rebuild. I don't like that idea, but it could be the reality. I would rather go get somebody to compete than go into the depths of hell for another year that prove it's not going to win you the Super Bowl.
So Zach, I've starred 20 comments, and I'm not going to read all of them, but I wanted to at least star these comments that reacted to what I had to say. And then, now you have agreed with me overall. So we asked the question, should 2023 be Derrick Henry's last season with the Titans? We both answered yes.
And I didn't know what you were going to say.
I didn't know it. Yeah, same. So I'm going to read a lot of those comments that I kind of starred there here in a second. But first, let me tell you guys, wrong graphic there, about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to go to and who to trust. That's going to Franklin, Tennessee, and the Bone and Joint Institute. And, the region's destination, I'm talking about the entire mid-state. I'm talking about Southern Kentucky, Northern Alabama. They've got all of the bells and whistles, all of the resources, and all the specialists at the Bone and Joint Institute that can deal with any type of injury that you have. So check them out, boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports, we're powered by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. They've got you covered when it comes to bets. You can do big bets, you can do small bets. It doesn't really matter. But if you are a new user, use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. The best part is you get a first bet offer with ATOZ Sports up to bonus bets up to $1,000. That's BetMGM. Download the app today.
All right, Zach. So we asked the question. We're going to read comments now. Should 2023 be Derrick Henry's last season with the Titans? We both said yes. And these are comments that I saw coming from you guys that disagree with me. MB says, that is so silly, Austin. The NFL tells you that you find ways to use your best players. Derrick Henry is their best player on offense. Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, learn to adjust. Jesse says, damn you, Austin. As horrible as it sounds, you're correct. So not all these are anti-me. Rockstar says, Austin, you will never get a championship. Well, based off of what we've shown you guys, paying your running back a $10.5 million base salary is not going to get the Titans a championship either right there, Rockstars. Jimbo says he's glad that I'm not the GM. Justin says I sound dumb. Big G says, damn, Austin, might as well trade him now for the picks. And then I see, Jake says Henry can't block on third down, and he can't catch out of the backfield, can't win a Super Bowl with the philosophy. And then I see, David says this is stupid. Henry helped the Titans with the smaller deal he took. Look at his and Zeke's deal and tell me who earned their money more. Henry is worth all the money, just needs a better quarterback. Look, I don't think either Zach or I is saying that Derrick Henry has not done a good job or earned the money the Titans gave him, because I do think he has. I think the problem is that Derrick Henry's cap hit and cap number is stopping the Titans from spending that money on other positions. And it's showing you that the Titans in the NFL should be able to go get, lesser production, but not that much less for what you're going to save on the cap. And so, Zach, I'll kind of let you to react to what I went through there, but Matt Drew at one more says, totally disagree, Austin. Carthon and Vrabel are about to transform this team completely by adding some better players and keeping the stars and building around them. And, my overall thing, Zach, is that,
Derrick Henry is going to be here this year.
Right.
This is not about 2023, guys. This is about 2024. This is the trajectory of the future. I don't think Derrick Henry will play in a Titans uniform in the new stadium. I don't think that's going to happen. And so, Derrick Henry had an unbelievable career, but the times they have changed. You don't have even Aaron Rodgers, who's played his entire career as a Green Bay Packer, is now flirting with, going to a new team. Guys go to new teams more often, and the running back position has been devalued as we've shown you statistically and based on contracts that have been signed. And so this is not about this year. I told this to you, Austin, yesterday or the day before. I think that they would be better off keeping Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry for one more year than just completely scrapping them. I disagree with you in that mode. I don't think that the rebuild starts now. I think that you can take advantage of the Texans and the Colts struggles right now and at least improve, get better players around Tannehill and Derrick Henry for one more season and see where it goes. But they've done this. We know what the result is. The result has a ceiling, and the ceiling is not hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy.
I think it's interesting, Zach, that we have seen the last 2 seasons what happens when the Titans don't have Derrick Henry and what happens when the Titans have a bad quarterback situation. When the Titans did not have Derrick Henry, they went 6-3 and were able to secure the number 1 seed in the AFC in the back half of 2021. When Ryan Tannehill got hurt and when he really could not do much at all, and the Titans had an immobile, banged up, injured Ryan Tannehill gutting through some things, and then they did not have Tannehill and had to go with Malik and Dobbs, but they did have Henry. They lost 6 games. I'll remove the Cowboys game. Derrick Henry wasn't in that game. So they lost their last 6 games. And so I think it really shows you that it's a lot easier to replace a running back than it is to replace a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's obvious, right?
For years.
It should be very obvious. But I think we all got so obsessed and just googly eyes over Derrick Henry over the last 3 years that we thought that there was, that he was a must-have. And so I'll ask this question, Zach. Would it have been better if the Titans would have traded Derrick Henry last April and paid A.J. Brown?
Well, you know my feeling about that.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I don't know if I mentioned that, but I was so anti-trading A.J. Brown and getting rid of A.J. Brown. You guys have told me to shut the F up constantly on the chat of how much I talked about that. Because what you traded away a future franchise superstar that could help your future quarterback. So when you go get a quarterback now, you're now hitching him to Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks has a lot of question marks. A.J. Brown has less question marks. So yes. Now, I don't think that was in the realm of possibility. I don't think that they were thinking about that.
Yeah, and I think that,
it's hindsight.
We've been over the A.J. Brown trade and why that happened and how, emotions.
But it was the dumbest trade. It may go down. Who knows what A.J. Brown becomes? But I'm telling you, I will not be wrong on that trade for the rest of my life. I will not be wrong on that trade.
I mean, the Ricky Williams trade is pretty bad. The Saints giving up their whole draft to go get Ricky Williams, and then 3 years later trading him to Miami, and then he just, there's other bad trades, but the A.J. Brown trade is a bad trade, and so it's about looking at what the NFL is telling us, and it's the fact that you can get a running back to run his ass off like his life depends on it, and pay him $1 million on a base salary and find a solid product. You can go draft a Miles Sanders, add a Boston Scott and a Kenneth Gainwell, and have that offense be effective with, $3 million allocated to your running back position.
So you brought up the A.J. Brown trade, and I think that this comment from Pistol Ramsey, eye roll emoji if Henry leaves. I think that is something that the Titans have set themselves up for, that when Henry leaves, who are these fans going to cheer on?
And that's the thing.
Jersey are they going to buy? But 98 is nice, but he's also a defensive tackle. Like A.J. Brown, number 11, looked so good in a Titans uniform. Now you're not going to buy that. You're not buying 17s. He's not going to be around here for too much longer. You buy 16s, but he can't stay on the field at least after 1 year. What jersey are you going to buy? That's where they set themselves up for disaster for trading A.J. Brown, who ultimately proved them wrong, and the general manager got fired because of it.
Yeah. And so more comments I wanted to read here too. Oh, crap. Where did it go? Oh, here. Here he goes. 60 Hustle on YouTube. You guys sound crazy. You need a good running game and a good running back and a good wide receiver for your offense. And like, yeah, sure. Yeah. This isn't an anti-run the football type of thing.
But you don't need a great running back.
No, you don't need. No,
That's
you
the
don't need
point.
to pay a $10.5 million base salary to a running back who counts $16.6 million on your salary cap. You don't need that. You need to be able to run the football. We know that. Rand Carthon knows that. Mike Vrabel knows that. Everybody knows that you have to be able to run the football in the NFL to win games in December, January, and hopefully February. But you're not going to get to February if your running back is taking up a large chunk of your salary cap every year.
Austin,
and so,
what are you going to do when you're down 6 points and there's 59 seconds left?
not have
Where's
Derrick
your great
Henry's
running
side.
back?
Yeah.
You're down 6. There's 59 seconds left. You've got one timeout. Where's Derrick Henry? No, and I want this is my point. If you've listened to anything of this show, listen to this. You have the ball. Ball's been kicked off. There's 59 seconds left. You are down 6 points. You're in the AFC Championship game. You have one timeout. You're going for it all to win a Super Bowl. Where is your best player on offense?
The sideline.
That is not the formula. That's the reason. Yeah. Because how many times did we see the scenario of under a minute to play and a team needs points? He's on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Your greatest player you're paying $16 million, and it's not all his fault. You don't run the football because of how the game is structured, of the art of football, because you've got a salvage clock. And incomplete passes, they stop the clock. Runs do not stop the clock. So the reason why the stat graphic is what it is because we've gotten in and seen more games come down to 59 seconds where you need points. Your running back is on the sidelines. Austin, Zeke didn't even play most of the time. They were paying him more than Derrick Henry, and he's not even on the field. Why? Because Tony Pollard is a better option.
And I also want to, because there's a lot of people saying that that's a Todd Downing problem of why Derrick Henry's on the sideline.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's a Todd Downing formula. And then I want another one. That's an OC thing. He is a screen king. You don't run screens to your running back in the fourth quarter with a minute left and you need a touchdown.
Okay, you've run one screen.
No.
Tackled for 12 yards.
Yeah.
You now have 30 seconds left.
Yes,
and one
exactly.
timeout.
And so and Xavier, that's the damn OC, Zach, quick at and stupid. No, guys, you guys don't get it. That's a Derrick Henry problem. Derrick Henry has not been able to develop into a consistent, trusted pass protector in his 7 years in the NFL. That's the reality. If Derrick Henry,
you disagree with this? I'm kind of mind blown. How do you disagree with 59 seconds, one timeout? You're down 6. You're not down 3, guys.
You got 75 yards to go, and it's the time and clock and situation, and Derrick Henry's off the field.
They only needed 3. Let's go back to the Giants game. First game of the season. How many times did Derrick Henry get the football?
On that last drive?
Yeah.
Probably 0. Probably because Dontrell Hilliard was on the field the whole time, because Kyle Phillips caught 3 passes on that drive. And so, again, the point is Derrick Henry is a volume runner who is incredible. Hall of Fame running back. Nobody's doubting Derrick Henry's skill set. He's a Hall of Famer. But right now, Derrick Henry is a $16.6 million cap hit at age 29, and he can't be used when the Titans are in certain situations because he can't pass protect.
Guys, let's go back to this situation. They had 1:06 left to go on the clock against the New York Football Giants to start the season. 1:06. They went 41 yards. They ran 8 plays. All they needed was 3 points. They really only needed 2 because it was 21-20. How many times did Derrick Henry get the football on that drive out of those 8 plays, Austin?
I'm guessing 0.
0. Zip. Nil.
I don't think he was on the field.
Zilch. Nothing. 0. Guys, the proof is in the pudding. I'm giving you scenarios where Derrick Henry is obsolete.
Yep.
I don't see how anybody can disagree with that.
Yeah,
it's like telling me that grass is not green. Like, I don't get it. I've given you the scenario. You've watched enough football, chat.
Yeah. And again, so The question we asked is, should this be Derrick Henry's last season? And so we're not saying get rid of Derrick Henry in 2023. I think Derrick Henry is going to be a part of this team. I think Rand Carthon would not get any good equity from the fan base if he traded Derrick Henry or moved on from Derrick Henry in his first offseason. That would not be a great way to start or smart way to start your run as GM for the franchise. But Zach, let's ask this question now. What do you expect from Derrick Henry in 2023 on a 1 through 10 scale? 10 being a 2,000-yard season that we've seen him do. What do you expect from Derrick Henry in 2023 on a 1 through 10 scale, with a 10 being his 2,000-yard season? And we'll get to the comments, but first tell everybody about Farm Bureau Health Plans.
There's a couple of good comments already, though, that I want to get to. I will tell you about Farm Bureau Health Plans, fbhp.com/A to Z. That's where you need to go to get your new health plan. I got my new health plan in 2022. I'm running it back. Derrick Henry will be running it back, we think, in 2023, because that is his final year of his deal. I'm going to be running back my health plan. 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. If you live in Tennessee, you need to check out Farm Bureau Health Plans. They can help you individually, you and your family. You've got a wife and kids. Your perfect plan is right around the corner. You've just got to go find it. Get the quote today. Make the decision. Health, dental, vision. 200 plus locations across the state. That's Farm Bureau Health Plans of Tennessee.
With the BetMGM app, use the Refer a Friend invitation, and you get $50 in bonus bets when your friend signs up with your invitation on the BetMGM app, and they get $50 in bonus bets as well. You can invite up to 20 friends. That's up to $1,000 in bonus bets for having them join you on the BetMGM app. It's a lot of fun. Zach and I do it almost every day. Won some, lost some last night. Lost Alabama plus 3.5, but I hit the Tennessee-Alabama under to finish out with an even type of night. That's how it works. But make sure you use that Refer a Friend invitation to create your conversation around your sports betting fun with BetMGM's Refer a Friend invitation. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligible requirements. Rewards issued with non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. And for problem game of sport, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Zach, we asked the question, what do you expect from Derrick Henry in 2023 on a 1 through 10 scale, with a 10 being the 2,000-yard season that we saw from him 3 seasons ago? What do you see from the chat?
Well, first off, Ken gives some lunchbox money. Says, can we use that same narrative talking about my 59-second situation, but now you're on the goal line with 10 seconds. Now you make the same argument without him. How many timeouts do you have? Are you going to run the football? Because if there's 10 seconds left, he gets tackled, there's no timeouts.
You're done.
You're not going to use them.
Yeah. Are you on the 1? Are you on the 5? What yard line are you on when you're considering the goal line? And so it's all about, how many plays do you have to give yourself to have a chance?
And they've used him on the goal line to throw the football as a decoy. So they've utilized that in that situation. I just think more times you are going to get into situations in the playoffs where you're trying to win a Super Bowl, where you're down a certain amount of points and you get the ball, right? And you've got to go score.
But the reality is he's more likely to be on the field in that goal line situation. But again, you're still with 10 seconds left, you're probably not going to give him the ball because you want the opportunity for 2 plays. If there's 4 seconds left, you probably don't have 2 pass plays. You got 1 play. So now you figure out what the hell you think your best play is on the goal line to win the game.
And Danny says, are we bringing up the fumble struggles?
And again, no, we haven't. But I also think I give Derrick Henry a break on that.
Yeah, I think I was the one that was giving Derrick Henry a break on it during the season.
Sure, but I think with Derrick Henry, I call it a stress fracture situation, is that he had to shoulder so much of that offense that at some point it got too much and he started making mistakes that he normally did not make. And he was trying to strain for extra yards and extra production and to help the team because that was the only option. And he ended up fumbling in some bad spots. It hurt them. Absolutely, it hurt them. And it was unacceptable, but I understand it.
What do you expect from Derrick Henry in 2023, 1 through 10, 10 being the 2,000-yard season? I don't even know what a 1 is. Eric says 8. We've got 7.78 from Stephen King, 8 from Eric, 8 from Matt, 6.435 from Tress, 7 from Scott. Daff says 8. 7 from Yuri. Roberto says 8. 7 from Jonathan. 8.99. 8 strong from Guy. Nate says 7. Danny says 8. Bork says 7. 7.7 from Eric. I've not seen anything below a 6. 8.5 from Mark. Jonathan says 8. Michael Billington says 7. Here's a 6 because hopefully they throw more. Nate's Burner says 9. So those are some. There's a 6.5. 6 from Billy. I see him slowing down. 8 from Big G. Teddy says 9. Still haven't seen anything below a 6. And look, I think Eric says 5.5. That's the lowest that we've had so far. Austin, what's your number? We haven't really seen him slow down to that level, right?
Right.
In his career. So it's hard to, I think, expect that.
Yeah, and Lee says he thinks it'll be between 1,500 and 2,000. So that's at 8.9 for him. I think a 6.5 is where I'm at because I expect Derrick Henry to be productive. I don't think it's a good thing for the Titans if Derrick Henry has another 1,500-yard season. I think you've got to adapt. I don't think the 2,000-yard season was crazy because Tannehill nearly threw for 4,000. AJ had over 1,000, and Corey Davis was like one catch away from 1,000, and Jonnu Smith caught 8 touchdown passes. Like that was just a nutso offensive year. It was incredible. I just don't think they're set up to have something like that. So if Derrick Henry has 1,500 plus yards, that means that you're really struggling to be dynamic in the pass game. And I think being dynamic in the pass game is more important than Derrick Henry getting 1,500 yards. So I say a 6.5. I think he's a little under 1,500 yards. But I mean, for Derrick Henry, that's a really, really, that's a down season, but that's a top 5 rushing season in the NFL. If he's in that 1,300 to 1,500 range, he's still a top 5 rusher in the league, but I think the Titans need to adapt.
Yeah, because there's only a handful of running backs to go after that record because everybody else is by committee. I mean, that's the trend. That's the theme of the show. I think that Derrick Henry will be at a 7.9. I'll go just below 8, but I expect him to have 13 to 1,500 yards. I expect him to probably have 1,500. He's still the straw that stirs the drink. Tim Kelly is going to have to rely on him. And here's the other thing is we don't know what kind of pieces that are going to be around him, Austin, right? If they're in rebuild mode and Derrick Henry's still there, he's got to have 1,500.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, that's true. And so,
Jameson, I kind of bring that up. I'm at a 7.8 or 7.9, right below an 8.
Jameson says, Austin, I'm trying to like the show, but you're crazy. You can, because you can have both of you have quality quarterback. Yeah, you have to have a quality quarterback. Obviously, that's the situation. And if you're new to the show, thanks for jumping on here. And we've had a lot of different discussions. This is just our discussion today. And I think the main problem is that Derrick Henry is making so much money on the Titans salary cap when they have so many holes on the roster. And the teams that win the Super Bowl have a tiny, tiny cap hit with their leading rusher, which means they can spend money elsewhere.
And you know where they need to spend that money?
The offensive line, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the quarterback. They're
going to have to pay a left tackle, right? So that money that you're spending on Derrick Henry can go towards either drafting and paying a left tackle. They don't have a left tackle.
No,
they don't have one.
They don't. Do they have?
They may not have a center.
Do they have a left guard? Do they have?
They don't have a left guard.
Technically, they don't have a right guard because Nate Davis is an expiring contract. And so, I see somebody saying that Tannehill is making too much money. Ryan Tannehill is making. That's Jay. Ryan Tannehill is making like top 12 to 15 quarterback money. So again, like unless you're the
Ryan Tannehill a top 12 to 15.
No, I'm not, that's not the conversation that we're having, but like the money that Ryan Tannehill is making is not like ridiculous at the position. The Eagles are in a beautiful spot because Jalen Hurts was a 2nd-round pick and they made the Super Bowl in his 3rd year. Now they're about to have that situation change. The Bengals are going to be in a different situation because even though Joe Burrow was a 1st overall pick, he's making a lot more than Jalen Hurts. Is that now that the Bengals are going to have to start picking and choosing players they can't have back because they're going to have to pay Joe Burrow $50 million a year. And so T. Higgins is going to be on the chopping block. You know who else should be on the chopping block? Joe Mixon. Like, the Bengals should probably decide to pay T. Higgins and cut Joe Mixon out, because Samaje Perine's pretty solid too. And Samaje Perine's going to be cheaper than Joe Mixon. And so I think that's how it works. Should the Eagles pay Miles Sanders a bunch of money? No. They should try to make sure Devonta Smith is locked up. They already locked up Dallas Goedert, and make sure that Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere, and make sure that they have that offensive line that had 5 Pro Bowlers or Pro Bowl alternates can return.
And they have a top 10 pick.
And they have a top 10 pick. They're probably going to draft another freaking pass rusher to add with their other 7 they've got. And so, like, that's the whole point, is that they should not give Miles Sanders $10 million a year. Joe Mixon should be on the chopping block for the Bengals to keep some other things together that fit what the recipe is to win the damn Super Bowl.
It's the evolution of football.
Yes.
Football has evolved. And I go back to the defensive-minded head coach. You have to find your franchise quarterback first and foremost, or you're just going to be spinning these wheels. Because a premier running back like Derrick Henry won't be enough. It's proven. I mean, we now know.
Yeah. It's nuts. A to Z Sports here live on this Thursday. We got a lot of people thinking that we're crazy. But hey, Eric Torres, you can say we're clowns all day you want. But I think I feel like Zach and I are pretty on point with what we're trying to talk through here of what the NFL is showing.
Just go back to the 1-minute drive. If you think I'm crazy, go to one of your buddies and explain, where's Derrick Henry with 59 seconds left, down 6 on your own 25 and 1 timeout. Go ask your buddy tonight, this weekend, your best friend. Call them today. Pick up the damn phone and call him and ask him, where's Derrick Henry? Titans down 6, 59 seconds left. You got 1 timeout. Where is he on that drive? And then shut up and listen to your friend.
You know what, Zach? I think you still need to call Buck's radio show at some point. I know we've been very busy, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, they're not on anywhere close.
But again, like, you can call in with your accent and ask Buck, where's Derrick Henry in that situation, and see what Buck thinks about it to blast to his radio audience. So again, I think
that's a better question than the Malcolm Butler. I don't not gonna have time today, but at some point I will.
Maybe next week. I don't know. Probably not.
I've got to purchase a radio first. I gotta get my radio.
I'll give you the hotline so you don't have to wait on hold through 5 different callers. If you want, that'll make it easier. We can give Lucas a heads up.
I would ask Buck that and see what he says.
Yeah, and I know what he would say. All right, A to Z Sports, Zach. Let's go ahead and, somebody at Bork asked us, can we have a fun topic? Yes, we're going to get to the Magic Bucket now. The Magic Bucket is always a fun topic because you never know what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, it's not always.
I mean, it's fun for the audience, I think. It's not fun for us every time, but the Magic Bucket here in a second. But first, let me tell you guys about Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you get injured in a car accident, which is a terrible situation, you got to go make the most out of it. And that's by going to Hughes and Coleman to get as much money as you deserve from that bad situation and getting injured in a car wreck. They've recovered over $1 billion for their clients across the last 30 years in Tennessee and Kentucky for that. So make sure you call Hughes and Coleman, a free case consultation at 800-800-4600, official injury lawyers of the Titans, and check them out there, 800-800-4600, principal office, Nashville, Tennessee.
Download the BetMGM app at ATOZ Sports. That's the bonus code for new users. You can get bonus bets up to $1,000 on your first bet if your first bet misses. That's the bonus code ATOZ Sports. They're the king of the sports book. Download the app today. Let's get to it.
Thursday to wrap up the show like every Thursday. So, Zach, what do we have today? I believe it's my turn for the first pull.
You've got your. I'll give you the bucket back, and then the next time you have the bucket, you can do your sticker.
I'll unload all the stickers that I owe you over the last couple of weeks. So yeah. But it is my week, so you can go ahead and pull for me first to see what we got to go here with today.
Well, you've already done that. Say one thing you wish you could do as a talent.
Yeah, I can't sing. Wish I could. That'd be fun.
puller has to eat one of their dog treats. I have done this. I don't believe that you have.
I have not done that. Can I do that? Well, because I have to get up and go walk and get it. Should I do
That's
it right?
fine.
Should I
That's
do it right
okay.
now? All right.
I did the same thing. I will
All right.
let you
Yep.
get up and go find you a dog treat.
I will be right back. And I'm sorry, Sophie and Bella. It's not my choice. I have to take something from you.
They'll be all right. All right. Let's pick for me while he's gone. I've already tried to juggle 3 pieces of fruit. Attempt to whistle with your fingers. So I'll have to do that when he comes back with his dog treat. So I will have to attempt to whistle with my fingers. I don't even know if I can do that. You know, that's like a big dad move on the sidelines of a soccer team. Hey, you know, or ref, calling out a ref.
What did you what you been doing?
Attempt to whistle with your fingers. That's what I'm going to have to do.
All right. So here's the dog treat.
What do you got there?
It's a piece of it's a piece of a Woofers cookie. So I don't know if you guys if Tux has ever had Woofers, but they're incredible cookies, Canada company. But this is a smaller piece of a bigger cookie.
Yeah,
we break them up for bite-sized little cookies here, but you know, they're actually, I think this one's got cinnamon in it.
Bland?
It's just a bland cookie. So I'm going to, you know, my girl Bella is right next to me, so I'm going to let her have the rest of this. So there we go.
I actually bought some new treats that I went to Trader Joe's and I was like, I'm gonna buy some treats because Tux is particular. He won't eat every treat.
Those
banana and peanut butter.
Yeah.
They're banana and peanut butter. I wouldn't be opposed to trying those.
Yeah. They just don't have any sugar in them. So it's just
and that's the problem. All right. Attempt to whistle with your fingers.
Just don't add extra spit to your computer screen here.
Do you know how to do it?
So Tress has it right here. Use the tip of your fingers to fold your tongue in half. Move your fingers around to whistle. I don't know how to do it. You can whistle, right? Okay. All right. So there you go.
That was poor. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you just don't know how to do it. It's just something you have to practice. And I don't, you know, if you don't have.
A little bit?
That was better. Keep practicing.
I guess.
With all the time that you've got to listen to the radio, keep practicing with your whistle. All right, guys. That'll wrap it up for this Thursday show. I feel like we didn't make a lot of friends today with our opinions about Derrick Henry and what this next upcoming season could be. But that's okay. Make sure you give the show a thumbs up. If you agreed or disagreed with us, give us a like before you go on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe to our A to Z Sports YouTube channel as well. Buck Rising will be live tonight, A to Z Sports Primetime. More content throughout the day on YouTube, also on our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, everything else. So check us out there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on a Friday. Appreciate it as always.